She was his wife, his duchess, and soon, so very soon, his new queen. Ransom eased himself off the bed, moving carefully and quietly. He dressed in his breeches and a tunic, then tugged on boots and belted the raven scabbard holding his bastard sword around his waist. As he dressed, a feeling of danger, of warning, began to bubble inside his chest. He walked to the window, staring out at the sea-bound horizon. Not a cloud in the sky anymore. The storm had finally moved on. He glanced at the ships docked in the harbor, ships from the Vexin, a few from Bithonica, and the vessel waiting to bear him and Claire to Legault, where they would reclaim the title that was Claire's birthright. All looked well, but something felt wrong. It twisted inside his stomach, making the peace he'd felt upon seeing Claire sleeping beside him vanish. He did not sense the presence of Lady Alex, the poisoner who served King Estian of Aquitania. This was something else. A preternatural warning, unanchored to any specific object or person. Was it from the fountain? Ransom left the room and walked down the hall. The servants were already hurrying about, preparing for the day. Although nothing seemed unusual or out of order, the strange feeling did not lift. When he reached the training yard at the castle, he noticed Givray sparring against one of the other knights. Each wore a hauberk, bracers, and a helmet. Others were practicing beyond them, some doing drills, some dueling with each other. A few were even preparing their horses to practice lance work, something they accomplished by hitting a wooden target fixed with a counterweight. Ransom's mesne had grown considerably since King Benedict had made him Duke of Gloucester. Almost all the Elder King's household knights had asked to join his mesne, men like Sir Harold, Sir Axion, and Sir Thatcher. But others had come too, seeking the favor of the man who had overnight become the most powerful lord of Ceredigion. He had more than enough income to pay for their service, but he did not allow the knights of his mesne to lay abed and dream. Discipline was his expectation, for them and for him. When Givray saw him arrive, he stopped his duel with the other knight and joined Ransom as he approached a table to the side of the yard that held pieces of armor and weapons. Ransom put on a hauberk, and Givray helped him buckle on a pair of bracers. "May we fight, Lord Ransom?" the young knight asked. He had become Ransom's squire after the death of his former master, Sir Terencourt of Brithonica.
"Just the two of us?"
Ransom queried. "Yes, my lord. I think I'm going to win today."
"You expect so? A knight should be more humble."
"If you say so, my lord." Ransom could hear the smile, although he couldn't see it through Givray's helmet visor. He picked up his own helmet and put it on. Then he and Givray made their way to an open corner of the training yard. They drew their bastard swords and faced each other. Ransom admired the lad's pluck, but the nagging feeling in his chest had doubled. What was causing his unease? He glanced around the training yard, but all appeared as it should. With his fountain magic, he sensed Givray was about to attack him and raised his blade as the younger man lunged. As their weapons clashed, a peal of thunder boomed over the cloudless blue sky. It was so loud Ransom backstepped, swinging up his visor, his sword arm going down. Had lightning struck the castle? He looked up at the sky but found nothing to warrant such a sound. Not a single wisp of white lay above. A quick glance revealed the other knights were still going about their business, practicing alone or fighting, as if nothing had happened.
"Is something wrong, my lord?"
Givray asked, lowering his weapon.
"Did you hear that?"
Ransom asked him.
"Hear what?"
Givray also raised his visor, a look of confusion now evident on his face.
"Thunder,"
Ransom said, turning around in a circle. Recognition dawned in Givray's eyes.
"Get ready, my lord," he said. "Prepare yourself."
"What is happening?" Ransom whispered, feeling a strange nausea in his stomach. Wind began to kick through the courtyard, swirling fallen leaves and debris. It whistled past the stones.
"I should have warned you about the summons," Givray replied sheepishly. "Here, let's go over there where we're less likely to be seen."
Ransom didn't understand what was happening, but he followed Givray to the corner of the yard that was